honest, uncensored conversations with the boldest man on the net, Lancescurv.
What we were speaking about was people who think you're brave when you speak the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only because they're thinking from the mindset of someone who's full of fear. And I think most people these days are caught up with fear. They push their chest out. They look strong. Not everybody, but I would say the majority of us. And we all feel the apprehension or the butterflies. We're only human. I'm not really knocking a person for being human, but ultimately as an adult, you have to face things in this world, and you have to just hunker down and say, hey, whatever is going to make me better.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, for me, I don't really have a fear of the unknown anymore, because I've challenged myself and I've been put in certain situations so many times and come out victorious. And I'm like, wait a second, why was I worried? So I don't concern myself with the worry no more. But you're right. And you, Talea, you speak what people would say is bold, and you speak the truth, but they would say, oh, you're so courageous. It's the only way. You know, if I said I was courageous, that means there's another side called fear lurking back there. But this is what I do. This is what you do. This is why we get along so well.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think? What do you think is at the root of that mentality? Do you think they could change? Or you think these people, for the most part, are always going to be so fearful? And a lot of us black people, we talk the talk around the kitchen table. But when it comes time to make a movement positive, we're waiting for somebody else to do it. And we go on with business as usual. Will that ever change?
It can change. I think that it requires like-minded people to come together to implement that change. Not everyone is a leader. That's one thing that we have to remember. Not everyone is a leader. Everybody has a certain role that they need to play.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's important that, we start to establish, I don't know how to say it, maybe fraternities or some sort of communities or groups. Establish a certain order to help implement change. And in order to do that, you have to develop a new culture, a culture that is free of fear. But we live in a society that is driven by fear in all aspects of life, amongst all races. There's a lot of people who, when they go to work, they are constantly in fear of not being able to hit sales goals or, meet certain expectations at work. They're constantly in fear of losing their job and having to look for another one, and they're constantly in fear of not being able to provide for their families. People are constantly in fear about this race war. Our men are constantly in fear of being shot by a cop at any given time now.
Yes.
Women are fearing the same things. Our children are fearing the same things. And it's perpetuated through the media. So to answer your question, will it ever change? I think it will. It's about finding out how to change it, though. And it'll change for those of us who are ready to unplug from the matrix, or those of us who are ready, to kind of see reality for what it is.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, you make perfect sense. But
so, when you stop, for instance, I don't watch the news. I stopped watching the news when I was 20, because it was just what am I watching this for? Why do I want to know that there was, a baby that was raped by the dad? Why do I want to know that?
Right.
Well, what is that doing for me? Okay, great. Some man raped his baby. Okay. Alrighty. Thank you for that helpful fucking information.
Exactly.
You know, and the things that do need to make the news, like when you hear about, you know, a new business that serves the community opened up down the street and they're doing X, Y, Z, you don't hear about that.
No. Anything positive, you're not.
You don't hear about the black man that saved, you know, a little girl from a burning house. Like, you don't hear about the good stuff. All they want to do is feed you all of the bad stuff, all of the scary things. And so that perpetuates fear, you know, subconsciously, because that's all you're being fed.
Yeah.
So look at the TV shows that we watch. We have all of these crime shows, CSI, NCIS, Law and Order. These are TV shows that people think are just for entertainment value, but why are we so entertained by crime?
Yes.
Why do you want to watch a show about a serial killer who's going around chopping people up, putting them in bags, and throwing them in the lake? I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Dexter. That's my that's my guilty pleasure. I was definitely caught up on Dexter, but then I really had to sit there and think about it. Why is this so fucking? Why is this entertaining to me? I used to be really into slasher movies like Hostel and Saw and all of that. Like I saw, you know, I grew up in the Freddy Krueger and Jason era, so
right.
I was watching that shit from when I was a child, like little before I even got into elementary school. But now that I'm older, I'm like, gosh, why did I do that? Why would I do that? You know. Because that did perpetuate a certain amount of fear in my mind. You know, when I'm at one point if I had to walk through a neighborhood at night, I'm thinking somebody's going to hop out and chop me up into little pieces and feed me to their dog because of all these crazy movies I've seen.
Right, it's in your head already. Yeah.
So
it's powerful.
It can change, but people have to recognize that a lot of their fear is self-inflicted.
Well said. Well said.
So it's crazy, and then so many people are just like, oh, it's just entertainment, you know, wind down. But it's like, you know, people don't even understand how their own brain works. They don't understand what it really means to think. They don't understand how to think, and they don't understand how so many things that are happening around us affect the way that we think. I'm always talking about how entertainment plays a huge role in our choices of fashion, how it plays a huge role in our sexuality. You know, I don't really know how to break it down in from an academic standpoint, but it's obvious, in my opinion, it's obvious something's happening when we watch, you know, these shows and these music videos and all of that.
Well, it becomes a part of us. It's like when you're a little kid and you have a chest, or you have the area under your bed or that part of the closet where you put your toys or your dolls or whatever it is that you fancy. Well, we don't see it, but all of this data that we're collecting on the radio, on the internet, on TV is becoming part of the fiber of our being.
Right.
Well, look at a person who studies to become a lawyer. Well, after a while, they start to think that way so much that they don't need the book. They are a lawyer. They have become a lawyer. They have absorbed everything through countless hours of study into that area of expertise where they are now a lawyer. At first, I'm going to school to be a lawyer, but you immerse yourself in that sauce, and you saute in it so long that you become that and you are that. So when people see you now, oh, that's my lawyer. See? So everything that we put in our head, whether it be, you know, your little scary shows, that has become part of you, but you have put other things in you that has nullified the effect where you understand what it is. So we all have a path. We all have a place to go from where we are now to that better place. And we've got to clean house because we have too many things inside of us, our subconscious mind. And these are the things that we draw from when we think and when we go about our day. That's how it flavors how we see the world. Somebody else will walk down a dark street and say, wow, you know, if they grew up in a nice area that was free of crime, you know, that's when you walk your dog and you're safe. So they may be in a bad so-called neighborhood with a high crime rate, totally oblivious to what is there, and having a nice time with the next person who was mugged or raped will never go to that same street again and say, oh, it's dangerous out there. And the other guy, it's almost like in a gentrified neighborhood when you have the white folks who first come to that black neighborhood as it's changing and being destroyed to make way for them. And these are yuppie types who have money, and certain parts of it are fixed up nice with certain late night shops and different things for them to go to. But those who lived there all those years are like, man, this is the hood, but it's changing. So their experience is something completely different. So we've got to retrain ourselves. We've got to get rid of, I'm not saying forget things, but understand the effect that it has on us.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people don't know how to deal with fear, and a lot of times they don't even realize that sometimes they're confusing simply being uncomfortable with being afraid. Like, I just, what was I watching? I was watching somebody, my memory is so shot right now, but someone, they did this study about white people and their fear of black people, just overall. And the lady pointed out that a lot of times when white people say that they feel unsafe, what they really mean is they just feel uncomfortable. It's not an actual fear, but they just feel uncomfortable. And I think that that plays a large role in it. And the things that make us uncomfortable, I think, are the majority of the time are the things that we just don't want to face. We just we want to, like, sweep it under the rug and not think about it.
That's what it is.
And I bring that up because, with the videos that I make, oftentimes I don't even really think I'm going all that deep. But when people tell me, oh, wow, that was so profound, I'm like, I really think that what I said was kiddie play compared to what could have been said.
Well, remember, you're dealing with people on all different ranges of consciousness. So, look, if you're a midget and you can't swim and you go to, like, the 5-foot part or the 4-foot part of the pool, you'll drown. If you're a basketball player, you're like, hey, man, my knees feel funny. The water's touching my knees. So it's all relative. Yeah. We all have a certain level of consciousness. So your light stuff is deep for the next person.
That's true. And you know what? I bet that's how a lot of the people that I admire feel. When they say something profound, and I'm like, oh my God, you're, like, amazing. I bet they think the same thing. And I don't say that to be, like, condescending, but I just think it's very it's just really sad to me that speaking truth is considered bravery.
It's a sad,
I don't think I'm.
It's sad.
I don't think I'm that brave. I think those kids that were rioting in Baltimore are brave. I mean, some people will call them opportunists, but at the end of the day, if that man hadn't died, those kids wouldn't have done that. People need to understand that chain of events. You can't go around bullying people and expect nothing to happen. We're not that docile. It's not even in our nature to be docile and accepting of oppression. That's not who we are as a people. So to expect us to just stand down and practice peaceful protest is just blasphemy. You know? But, you know, my point is, I think that those kids were brave. Because they could have, every single one of them could have been shot dead the way that the cops are acting these days.
Exactly.
They could have did anything to those kids. You know, I think our men, you know, the ones that are getting out there and they're doing the work, I think they're brave, you know. But I don't think that a speaker should be considered brave, even though it does get messy when you start to have influence. Things can happen, you know. You can get death threats. If you expose people, you can be harassed. There's a lot that can happen, but I don't think that those possibilities should be powerful enough to strike fear in someone and make them refrain from speaking their truth.
Well, there's a job to be done, and somebody's got to do it. Somebody has to say it. Because you see, I look at it this way: it's gonna come out. It's like, okay, we all remember that pimple that we had that came out of nowhere that morning that we had. Oh well, right before that night we had to go to a party. But all week we packed ourselves with something that wasn't really too healthy or too good, but we thought we can get away with it. I'm not saying this is an actual thing. I'm just using it as an example. And we, when it comes out, we got to deal with it. So with this system here that I'm focusing on in the United States and how things are dealt with black people in the system, and yes, there are some black people who do things and put themselves in position. People who listen to these videos, they think that we're saying something absolute. We're going in on a topic. If you have any sense, you'll understand that. So the stupid-ass comments that come in as though we have to cover every single base, and we're just saying this one thing. They
want you to bullet point every single possibility and every single base. Man, shut the fuck up.
Exactly.
For those of you who you don't agree with anything that's being said, why are you going to sit through an hour and a half long fucking conversation and listen to some shit that you don't like? Like, get a fucking life. Go listen to some shit that you do like. This message clearly isn't for you, you fucking idiot. I said it. Get on my nerves.
I applaud you.
Fucking trolls.
Exactly.
I'm so serious, man. Get a life.
Exactly.
I mean, especially when Lance, their point of view is so biased, and it's only based on what they personally have experienced and what they see from their narrow-minded point of view. It's so fucking hilarious.
And we're supposed to submit to that as though our experience didn't exist and we don't have a point of view. Like they can walk in from a different world and just say, you know, wave that little fairy godmother magic wand and ding. No, because you see, they're so used to controlling, or somebody told them in every situation that they come into that they're in charge. No, you're not in charge of my mind. You're not in charge of my consciousness. You have nothing to do with that. If anything, if I was decadent and not rising up and falling lower and acting more like a beast, well, yes, I would say you had something to do with that, because that's all you put out in the world. So you know that. Exactly. So you see us gaining consciousness and you see the sleeping giant awakening, and you're afraid that they will listen. Others like them, those people, will wake up also. And that's what's happening. And that's the time right now. So they know that we are signaling in, even if our experiences are different than someone else who's also waking up. It's not going to be a cookie cutter thing. We're not monolithic. But we're
well, unlike them, though, I find it very interesting that they all have the same point of view. And at the end of the day, you fucking savages have a history of going in and forcing people to think the way that you think and submit to the way that you do things. You fucking savages. Fuck you.
I second the motion.
Call everybody else savages and uncivilized. You have a ridiculous. Your entire existence is dependent upon your ability to be savage-like.
Tell them, sister. Tell them. And I know folks are appreciating your flow right now. No, but, and see, they're not used to hearing that. And so they will go off.
I'm not a bad person. Yes, you are.
It's the truth, though. And there was something posted up in the Lancescurv talk show room. Where was this now? Okay. It was, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but it was about the history of the riots. And that, well, not all riots, but I mean, my God, they have such a rap sheet, you know, because any criminal, when they get locked up for something and the judge is reading out everything they did, they're thinking in the back of their mind, well, I got caught for 20 things. I really did like 70. You know, every real so-called person who has lived and indulged in what they would call criminal activity thinks to themselves when they finally get busted, oh, God, which one is it going to be? Or which few is it going to be? And whew, I only got 20 years for those few things, but I didn't get caught for the other stuff. So when I read a list out, which I'm not going to read, this is just too long. Where did it go? Or was it even on my page? Let me see something. Okay, yeah. It is so funny. Wow. Let me see. Yeah, I can't even read all of this, but it goes back to the Black Wall Street Massacre. But of course, it's we don't even have to speak about times in slavery. And they say, well, that's over with. Well, the reason why you damn have this privileged position, money-wise and power-wise, is built off the backs of that. Okay? So if I steal your paycheck and 2 days go by and you say, oh, you stole my money, oh, it's the past, get over it, but I'm walking around going on a shopping spree, that's exactly what's happening here. And of course...
Exactly, but you know what, Lance? I've just gotten to the point where I don't even give them the time of day to have that conversation with me. No. Because what's the point? At the end of the day, when I address them, I let them know I'm addressing them.
Yes.
But until I address them again, they won't hear, they will not get the satisfaction of me taking the time out of my day to educate them. Mm-hmm. I'm not here for them. I'm here for my people.
That's right. But see, that's what they pick up on that, and they don't like that, because you should be concerned about what they think, because they're so used to people.
About what you
think. You know what it is? They're so used to people asking them for their approval. See, when you go on and do what you have to do without their approval, they're offended. Little nigga, you're supposed to come by me. You have to come to me and get approval. You little niglet.
Exactly, yeah. But oh my God, sorry.
I know. We're not going to keep you too long. I just said, hey, let's share a little bit of this.
Yeah.
And I also have to say, nah, I get to talk to Leah all the time. I'm sharing this little nugget with you, world. I'm such a blessed man.
Oh.
No, but it's the truth, though. And you're so comfortable in your skin. You're so comfortable in your views. You're so comfortable in who you are, and they're not used to that. You're not choking up and explaining 50 million things before you say the punchline. You just come out and say it.
Right. I don't want to. What for? Why? I'm so sick and tired of people being so goddamn fragile. Like, I got to serve everything to you on some fucking pillow fucking platter. Like, what the heck? No. You know, this is, like I told you this before, life does not come with sugar. When bad things happen, they happen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And then when good things happen, good things happen. It's just the way it is. So we need to learn to be more honest with each other. You want to know what else is hilarious? Half of these fuckers who have all this shit to say on the in the comment section would never say that to your face. You little fucking keyboard warriors would run the other way, because you know how you feel when you see me approaching you, or when you see one of my men walking by you. You
I love the way you said that.
Cowardly little motherfuckers. You go ahead and you hide behind your keyboard, just like your fucking clansmen hide under sheets. You're all fucking cowards. Savage, beastly, fucking cowards.
That's a paid announcement by the Talea Foundation for the Talea Army.
Yeah, and you know what?
What?
We can play that game too, you know, because obviously there are little games of hiding underneath sheets and hiding behind badges and hiding behind riot shields and hiding with and protecting themselves with their guns and their batons. You know, anybody with half a brain would be able to see how cowardly they are in nature.
Right.
Put that riot gear down, take your guns off your hips, drop your batons, put your mace to the side, get out of your car, you know, because we all know they've used all of those things, including cars, to kill people.
Yeah.
You know, drop everything, get in the middle of the street with one of my men, and prove yourself.
That's right.
You can't. You've never been able to. That's why you've always had to go out there and create all your little fucking weapons and kill people with disease, because you can never win hand-to-hand combat.
That's right.
Ever. That's why when those cops get a hold of one of ours, and there's a couple of them, they just have a fucking field day. Because at the end of the day, they're just cowardly, weak little bitches.
That's right. And for those who may not appear to be so on the physical tip, it's because of those cycles of steroids they're taking, the creatine, and all of this stuff to pump themselves up, but they could still never have that base strength, that natural base strength.
Never.
And you know what?
Never fucking.
Yeah. Strength is more than just physical, you know. It's about potency and being virile and
agility.
Yes. And we have that. I mean, hell, I'm not an Olympian, but at 52, I can pretty much go with anybody half my age. You know, I mean, just whip them down on all levels. So, you know what I mean? And they never wanted to see me when I was 20.
Yeah, we've always been physically, you know, superior.
But we're not supposed to know that, though. You see, we're not supposed to even speak on that. But that's a fascination with them.
Oh, no. Fuck that. We're going to speak on it. I mean, this is why the only places where they're actually, like, amazing and strong is in the movies. That's why you guys have to create all your little fucking superhero movies. You have to take our fucking hour roles whenever you do any movies regarding Egypt. You know, that's why you have, like, a white man as the last samurai. Like, you guys are so fucking pathetic. Like, this shit is hilarious. But you know what? I can understand. If I was a part of a race that was actually just extremely fucking weak, I'd want to make movies to lift up my spirits too. You guys are a fucking joke. What a joke. What a fucking joke. Do you remember Dangerous Minds with Michelle Pfeiffer?
Yeah.
Well, the white lady came and saved the day in the gangster school. Like, what?
Yeah.
You guys are so fucking hilarious. Like, just the way that you go about everything. Your movies are getting old. Like, revenue cannot be going up by, you know, and when it comes to the number of people that are actually going to see these movies. You know, it's going up the cost to see a fucking movie. Because I remember when I was younger,
Right.
We were paying like $5, $3 or something, and now it's like, you know, anywhere from $9 to $20.
$20. Yep.
And I think it's because perhaps we're losing interest in your fucking movies. They're stupid. Like, there's nothing remotely
relevant
or truthful or
elevating. Yeah.
Or elevating. Yeah. I mean, it's so funny. It's so funny. All these superhero movies. Oh my God, get out of here, you fucking idiot. He has no sense of spirituality. If you knew anything about superheroes, you know that most of those fucking characters come from our ancient mystery systems.
Yes.
They come from us.
And they study that too. And they don't want us to know it. And that's why they listen when they know that you study it and you absorb it and you are it. And like I said in one of my other videos, you are the secret that they're studying.
Exactly. I mean, look at the movie Lucy. Really? Really? Oh, my goodness. Okay. You guys are so cute, playing dress-up all the fucking time.
I love it when you're laid back and relaxed like this. You're still powerful.
You want to talk all this shit. Oh, if they really wanted to do well, they could. It's free. It's equal opportunity for everyone.
Really? After stacking everything against us in this system,
right.
But it's equal opportunity. You chop off a person's legs and say they can come to the race. They have a chance to win. You know?
Still have legs.
Exactly. And
chop off their feet.
But you know what though? This is why when you excel in their system, they get mad because they know the traps they set for you. And they're looking like, what the hell? You're not supposed to succeed because we know what we did. How are you thriving? How are you making the same amount of money on these jobs as I am, but you live better? You eat better food. You live in a better house. Matter of fact, how is it that you have the same 24 hours that I do, and it seems like you get so much more done? Huh? They compare. It's like that insecure man in the urinal next to you who's peeking over to see how big your dick is. And after he sees it, right, then they don't like you anymore because now you're a threat.
Right.
Like a man pulled up next to me today and told me, oh, you should throw a signal when you want to merge over into my lane. I said, listen, you don't have a lane. Number one, there was an ambulance coming and I had to move out of the way and you saw it. And you were too far behind me to worry about that. But your ego got in the way. And he was sitting there next to his girlfriend or his wife, whatever, and she was just smiling all up in my face. Well, you need to know how to so-and-so. I said, no, you need to stop trying to show off in front of your girlfriend. Your shortcomings are obvious. And I understand why. Okay? They have pills for that. They have doctors for that.
That's all you guys do anyway.
Exactly. And I said, she knows exactly what I'm talking about, and she's smiling. She knows it. So deal with that. So he was trying to be, tit for tat with me, and after a while he lost it. Fuck you! And gave me the finger and screeched off. I said, mm-hmm.
Right. Don't talk about my little penis.
But you know what? Even when their little penis may be a big penis, there's still something missing.
Yeah, what's missing is that you'll never be one of our men. You're not the elite. When it comes to supremacy, the only thing is there's more of you than there are of us.
But you know what,
We're
though?
outnumbered.
No, only in this country. Because now when you go worldwide, they're outnumbered. Their numbers are going down. See?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, worldwide. I mean, they're the minority.
Yeah, well, worldwide.
But this is why they don't want us to think on a global level. They want us to just think local. That's all.
Demonize.
Yeah.
As if America is just, the best place. And, the way that they talk so badly about all the other countries and how they make Africa just seem like this undesirable land.
Yeah, and they're all over there stealing the resources.
Ebola.
Yeah.
You're either going to get Ebola or killed by Boko Haram.
But they don't talk about the meth addicts over here. You know, they don't talk about the diseases over here. You know, and how this country has slipped in its standard of living, and the dollar is falling, and it's falling. And go! This is my country. Wait a second.
Have you ever noticed
country?
How much they praise their serial killers? Most serial killers are in their mid-30s, white males, and very intelligent.
Oh, for real? Word up! You're right. You're right. Because
they're extremely intelligent. No, they're not. They're not crazy, out of control, and heinous. No, they're 35, white male, usually very good looking. They work in corporate America, and they're very intelligent.
That says a whole lot about that culture.
You guys are, but then they talk about our killers. They're thugs. They're thugs. Okay.
Exactly.
You guys even praise your own fucking killers. You guys are so pathetic. So pathetic. So well calculated. This serial killer is just fascinating. Let's go ahead. Let's create a course on criminology so we can study our serial killers. Like, what? Get the fuck out of here, you fucking savage beast. Oh my God, I'm so sick and tired of these fuckers. I really am. It's so irritating. And here's a disclaimer before you dumb fuck try to say that I'm not talking about all white people. I'm talking about the white people that act like this. And there's plenty of you fuckers out there. Plenty. There's some there, and you know what's the best part about it? There's white people who are sick of you white people.
Yeah, exactly. There are white people who are oppressed by these other white people who consider themselves elite and affluent.
Yeah. But there's actually white people out there who are just so fucking sick of this because they know at the end of the day they have to deal with the ramifications of what the fucked up white people do. And they're just like, what the fuck, man? I'm just trying to live my life, and these fuckers over here are just fucking it up and making me look bad. It's like they get so upset. It's actually really funny. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you about that, but it's going to come to an end one day. Probably not in my lifetime, but people are getting sick and tired of your guys' shit.
Well, I sure hope. You just dashed my dreams toward happening. You said not in your lifetime, so it's damn sure not going to happen in mine.
I think with the next generation, maybe my children's generation, some things will probably change because, I don't know, I feel like the younger kids are more outspoken. Like, I'm far more outspoken than the generation that came before me. And I feel like the kids that are coming after me, I think more and more,
You're right.
The younger generations they're going to be sick of it, and they're going to fucking rip this place apart.
Yeah, because, on the flip side, while there is a lot of decadence out here, and a lot of us are falling by the wayside, there are many who are being educated, and they know and they see, and it's cut and dried, and they're not going to go for it. That's the thing. You see, while they may say about some of us that, oh, yes, they're savages, or they just kill and whatever, well, hey, there's a fearlessness there. And armed with the proper knowledge doesn't mean they're going to go and just want to shoot something up, but they're going to face these issues without any restraint. They're going to, go into the institutions and be a part of the fabric of this society, and they're not going to have that fear. They're going to address it head on. And what are people going to do? What are people going to do when you have the undisputed truth and you're kicking it and other people agree, and people who could make the change, who are in those positions of not only just power, but just the power that comes in numbers when you have a unified force. So It's just a matter of time. Because you know what? We have a lot of little Malcolm X's out here. We have a lot of strong leaders on the way up. And that's the thing. Even with and Eric Shepard, that's what they saw. Say, oh my God, here's another Malcolm X coming up in this generation. We thought we snuffed them all out. And they, you know, the oppressor has a look on his face like, we done sprayed all the roaches already. Why is that one running around strong? You know what I mean?
Right.
But we ran out of roach spray. We got to get him. Get the shoe.
We gave him plenty of fluoride. What are you talking about?
we laced everything with corn syrup and high fructose corn sweetener and canola oil. They're eating all this gluten, you know?
Where did this little nigger come from?
Exactly. Look how big he is. He doesn't even work out. We're in LA Fitness every day. This guy's eating McDonald's with a six-pack. What's going on here? It's not supposed to be.
Exactly. Well, we made sure to link all his entertainment with some feminizing fucking fuckery. He should be at least fucking 1 mil a week. What's going on? What's going on? None of our propaganda's working. He's not even wearing pink. Where did he come from? He's not even wearing skinny jeans. Where did he come from?
Exactly.
He came from the womb of a black woman, and he was clearly raised very well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Eric Shepherd.
Yes, indeed.
Yep.
And all of the Eric Shepherds out there. On
And all of the other Eric Shepherds that come out wherever you are. Everybody.
We got a job to do.
Time.
That's right.
We do have a job to do. We really do. We have work to do on the web. We have work to do on the ground. So, as my little group of people work on the website Parasite, we need people to work on these, you know, work on the ground.
Yeah.
Outside in the street.
You're right about that. Yeah, that's pretty much.
Oh, so I have an update.
Yeah.
Remember when we were talking about Danny?
Yes.
That crazy lady.
Reverend Danny.
Who's not even really a reverend.
I know. A reverend in our own mind. A reverend in our own mind. Unkind.
It's hilarious. So that 63 number that kept calling me, I think it's her boyfriend.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really?
Or some guy that she's screwing, yeah. Because they called someone else, too. And when I tell you, these people went after her, I mean, she was just losing followers left and right. And
when you said they went after her, I got a picture in my mind, like at the end of Benny Hill when everybody's chasing one person. You know?
Yeah, I mean, you know, she better hope that nobody ever sees her out in the streets, because there's a lot of people out there who do not. I knew that some people had issues with her, but I didn't know that it was this
It was like
bad.
that, right?
You know, because, you know, when I decided to make that video, it wasn't because, oh, I'm going to get this bitch. No, it was, there's a crazy white parasite that's, like, tricking my people and pimping our culture.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta call her out, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, but I did not know, like, there are some people that really hate this woman. I mean, it's,
And you put the icing on the cake. You confirmed it, you know.
Well, yeah, I think that's all I did was I just presented some additional evidence, because there's another lady who has a radio show on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
and she I want to say her name is Angela, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And she did something very similar to what I did, except she did it like 8 months ago.
Wow.
She was comparing the sound of her voice, you know, on when she was on the same interview that she did with Lilo Macy, or Mace, and she compared that voice to the way that she sounds when she's talking to our people. And she, you know, she mentioned a lot of the things that I mentioned, plus some. So I was like, wow, yeah, people have been trying to take this woman down for a while. The only difference is I showed actual evidence via video. I was actually able to show people where they could find the information that I uncovered. She took everything down. She went on YouTube and had her interview with Lilo Macy's removed. She also had it removed from Lilo Macy's website. She removed the video from her Facebook in which she called us niggas. So to her followers, I'm just wondering, how is it that you can continue to support this woman when she clearly got caught up and she's removing all of the evidence?
That's proof right there, you see.
It's proof right there. It was proof when she decided to spell out the word nigga to make sure that people knew she didn't say nigga, like nigga was any better. You know what else is proof? When she did a video about the Baltimore riots, and she says, "I'm sick and tired of hearing the cry from the black community." So you're hearing the cry from the black community. You just separated yourself from the black community.
Exactly. She slipped.
You're telling on yourself day in and day out. And I'm already convinced that you're not black, but there are actually people who think that you're black, and you just need to come out and say it. And then you need to get the fuck out of our shit. You know, stop. Like I told her, you don't have the connection to the ancestors because you are not, it's not in your bloodline. It doesn't matter how much Medi-Nature you learn. You will never be what it is that you aspire to be. You can learn it from a academic, you know, a linear academic point of view, but you'll never be one to develop that knowledge directly from the ancestors. Fucking face it. Go be happy. Go do your little white thing. Get out of our shit. That's all I'm saying. Or if you want to talk against oppression,
but
people about
everything we have, they have to have their foot in it. You know, we can't have anything, especially something so powerful, and for us to know that what we have is powerful. What are the secret societies going to do when we wake up? See? We are the secret.
What's hilarious? Exactly. We are. We really are. What's hilarious about it is, like, let's take voodoo, for instance, because they demonize the voodoo religion.
Exactly.
And they've made a lot of our people believe that voodoo is evil and, oh, don't mess with that voodoo stuff, you know. But the reason why I'm talking about it is because there's so many white people that are into voodoo now.
Of course, they go over and study it. And I was told by someone who is in the medical field, very reputable source, and will not put their name out there, because, you know, a lot of people do call Lancescurv and tell us little things from the inside. But there are people from different drug companies that go into different countries where voodoo is practiced, and they go to the masters, they go to the ones that really know their stuff, and they learn from them, see, and they actually pay them to not share their secrets with other people, or pay them to be quiet, because, okay, those who will go for that, because we want this for ourselves, and we're going to bring this over and use and utilize this on a physical level, but also there's spiritual elements to the healing and the power that we want to have for ourselves, and you got to be quiet about this now. Yeah, it's crazy. But we have to buy it back from this imposter, something that's ours.
Right. But what's hilarious though is that those of us who have like deep ancestral voodoo, you know, it's those of us who have a deep history in terms of our ancestors being practitioners of voodoo. It's interesting. It's like within our DNA. So it doesn't matter if, you know, some fucking idiot decides that they want to go pay to learn some shit that they can't.
Right.
You know, it doesn't. That doesn't matter, because when it's in your bloodline,
right,
that information comes to you through so many different channels other than some fucking academia.
I'm glad you said that.
Word of mouth. It comes through our dreams. It comes, awakenings. This is shit that these motherfuckers make movies about and things that they just dream of happening to them. So it's just kind of like these secrets, the phenomena regarding our spiritual ancestry is like you can't. I'm not going to say. Well, I think we're all capable of having that awakening and connecting with our ancestors, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like you can't suppress that information forever. We will always find out because it's meant for us. It's not meant for you.
Right.
You can sit around here in your little fucking study groups all day and your voodoo groups on fucking Facebook, and you can read all the books you want to read and buy all the stones and candles and herbs that you want to fucking buy. But at the end of the day, you will never be more powerful than the source.
Beautifully said. No, it's the truth, though.
Yeah, it's never.
You know, you're working better on these folks' bowels as they hear this than X-Lax, because they're scared hearing you talk like that.
Well, it is what it is. You have your Wicca shit, which is all based on our shit anyway. So go enjoy your Wiccan, pagan fucking bullshit, and leave our voodoo alone. Walking around playing with voodoo dolls and shit. Fucking idiots. I'm telling you, these people. And then there's a white lady who owns a Kemetic Orthodoxy church. I came across that website about a month ago. I thought that was pretty fucking funny. But I mean, it's an actual church, so she's been collecting money and all that. Like that's the next big thing. They're going after our shit because the Kemetic Orthodoxy Church hasn't been open for that long. I forgot what year. I think it might be less than 5 years old.
Wow. And it's them running it. Isn't it something?
Oh, yeah. She's selling classes and everything. And it's crazy to me. But it's also, it's just like, oh, look how cute. You picked up some fucking books on Egypt and Medu Neter and decided to start a church. That's so adorable. You have fun with your little fucking headdress and your aunts and shit, you fucking stupid bitch. You go ahead. I hope you feel good about yourself. But once again, you'll never be connected because you're not me, you're not my sister, you're nothing but a fucking savage leeching ass, wish you had some culture ass bitch.
You have to say it plain and simple for what it is, you know.
Yeah, it's pathetic, you know. It really is. Just admit it. You come from zero culture besides savagery. That's all you guys do. Run around, steal some shit, and fuck it up. What's also hilarious about the Kemetic Orthodoxy is that when I was reading through the website, it said nothing regarding the cultural practices. All it's talking about is like the deities and a couple of different words like Ka and Sa, and there was nothing in there regarding like how the men and the women of the Ken culture lived. It didn't talk about their roles in society. It didn't talk about how they dealt in politics. It didn't talk about anything like that. And when it comes to Kemet or Kemetic sciences, we're not just talking about the deities and the spirituality.
Right.
We're also talking about the culture. It was a way of life. It wasn't a religion.
Right.
So how
That's a very interesting point.
How dare you create a Kemetic religion when it wasn't even a religion? That's what I mean when I say you guys fuck everything up. You don't even know what you're doing. I hope you call up on SpecNet. She rips your fucking head off. It's blasphemous. It's really fucked up. It's ridiculous. You always want to play in some shit just because it looks appealing when it's not even meant for you.
Right. Wow.
You don't take a way of life and create a religion out of it.
And you want to profit off of it and act as though you're the one who is... Yeah.
The Kemetic gods chose me. No, get the fuck out of here. Shut up.
Would they really? I mean, really? Would they really? After seeing how these people have done us, they're going to choose, the ones who are going to feel the wrath?
It's only a matter of time before we drive you out into the mountains again.
Oh, man. I'm loving this flow.
I'm just tired of it. I really am. It's you should be embarrassed.
It's so true.
Honestly, you should.
I gotta say it to Leia after dark.
Right. This is me when I'm really tired.
That's okay. I'm loving it. And I'm quite sure everybody else is like, you gotta have those late night conversations more often. And when you're ready to sign off, by all means, I'm just loving the flow, but just go natural,
Yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna be up.
You know what I'm tired of? I think we kind of touched on it a little bit in our last conversation about Danny. What happens when our black men decide to date white women or even marry white women or just, be with white women? What I have noticed is this false sense of empowerment that it gives these white women, this sense of arrogance that they get when they get with a black man.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that we could definitely go ahead and use Reverend Danny as, or why am I calling her Reverend? Danny Daniela as an example of what happens when you give a white woman some good black dick. They go fucking crazy. And then all of a sudden you want to go around and start telling black women about who they are. And I mean, some of these white women even have the nerve to go out and explain to black women why black men are dating them.
Yeah.
And here's the reason why they're dating you. It has nothing to do with the fact that black women are less desirable or we have attitudes or anything like that. Those black men that choose to go outside of their race for good have been indoctrinated. Their minds are literally poisoned and they hate themselves. So they decide that they want to have offspring with white people because they think that they're going to create something that's just a little bit better than who they are because they're white. And they date you white women because they do see you as docile and submissive when it's never been a part. When it came to the black man and the black woman originally, there was never no superior or submissiveness necessary.
Wow.
Because we work together as a unit. But since our men have adopted this Eurocentric idea of what a woman is supposed to be, that's why they find you guys to be more appealing. Because they took on your men's idea of what a woman is supposed to be, which is submissive, instead of strong. You see, we've come from a background where some of our women were warriors.
Yes.
We fought alongside of our men.
That's right.
You know? We've always been powerful women. We've always been beautiful. We've always been, we've always fought for our men.
That's right.
And the fact that they don't want that anymore, number one, it's only because they don't know their history. And two, most of them are fucking Uncle Tom-ass house niggas. Sellout motherfuckers. And, you can have those weak-minded, sellout, bitch-made motherfuckers. Keep them. Fine with that.
You said a mouthful. And you're right. It's almost like, but I do see the arrogance. The people that I observe on a regular basis in public, you could see it. It's almost where they feel that they're a step or a notch above our sisters. And yeah. I do see that arrogance. I've had a chance to observe, because of what I do, the same people over a period of time, over years, and through the little things that they show of themselves, it lets you know where their head is at. And it's really true. This is not the case in every single situation, with different reasons, but the majority, I will say yes. When it comes to that, it's like, okay, I'm in. You, black woman, cannot tell me anything. Look, I have black babies. I have some black dick. Now, mixed with what I am a superior hybrid of you. So now I'm in the club and I can speak on what I want to speak on, and you can't tell me a damn thing.
You still get your ass stomped the fuck out. You and your fucking whitewashed, brainwashed ass black man. You and him. It's ridiculous, And, okay, perhaps I'm being a bit harsh, because some of the black men, sometimes they snap out of it. They're just kind of like, I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. But, I just want the white ladies to know that when you get a black man that chooses to put black women down in the name of lifting the white woman up, we're not missing out on anything. Because that brother is weak-minded. He's not even acknowledging himself for the God that lives within him. He's not even acknowledging the true, what makes him special, what's running through his veins, his blood. He's not even acknowledging himself. He's suppressing himself to fit in with a culture that doesn't give a fuck about him.
Right.
So I personally don't give a fuck about a dude that doesn't have knowledge of self.
We'll see.
Keep that.
We'll see. That's why these particular white women will go ahead and find another black man to cheat with. That's a real black man.
Right.
Because that weak one will have the outer shell and covering, but she quickly finds out that that's not what she's looking for. And see, this is funny. You have a lot of black men who feel they have to castrate themselves, or actually do, and water themselves down for that white woman, and then the white woman senses that and doesn't want him anymore.
Right.
Because that's not what she wanted. She didn't want a white black man. She wanted a black man. But most often, when you're in that as a black man, you damn sure want to come home. You damn sure want to come home.
When you're not getting the food that you want, when she's not doing what you want in bed, when you're tired of blonde hair being fucking all over your clothes. I mean, it's just kind of like,
You want to come back home. I mean,
you do. You want that soulfulness, but I don't know.
And also for many of the sisters who go to a white man as revenge for something that happened to them with a brother, or I'm going to date just white men now because I'm angry.
Oh my
See,
gosh! And I've been there.
Yeah.
About a couple of years ago, a friend of mine, we both were like, we were so done with these black guys, and it was the most uncomfortable choice I ever made. I went on a date with one white guy, and I was just like, this isn't working. It's so awkward. Like, it's just the most awkward thing. I could never imagine just, like, marrying some white guy. Like, how weird is that? I don't know. No kidding.
It's something,
you know.
It's something, like Muhammad Ali said many years ago, he says, you see birds, bluebirds, redbirds, it's deeper. It's a spiritual thing. It's down to the root. It's like eating junk food. You're getting calories, but you're not getting nourished. You're not getting fed. Even when you're just laying in the bed with your sister. And for people who just jump to the beginning and say, what do you mean, your sister? Meaning my black sister. Me as a man. Okay. The warmth that comes from that woman's body. The scent that comes from that woman's body. The taste and the flavor, everything is just so, when you inhale, it's just so much a feeling of being at home. I can't explain it. It's not evil talk. It's just, you see things and they just don't click like that. It's just, look, we haven't known each other for 10 years. We talk as though we know each other so well, because we do, in a sense. The chronological time may not be there, but we've connected.
Right.
See? So
there's a natural connection there. So I'm just wondering, how can, a black man feel that connection with a woman who doesn't have, that may not have that special divine, that familiar divine energy, that we carry. But, those men also, they're not very divine anyway. Usually they're not.
Well, see, what makes you so special is that you're so connected to yourself, and this is why many who listen to you, the fellas and the women, but mainly for the fellas, for that thing that you have as a woman for a man, it feeds them. They could listen to you all night, because your very voice and the essence of what you say, it's almost just like when a child is in the mother's womb and they hear the heartbeat and they can hear the bass of the voice, and it's just so warm. That's what you give, is that intangible, and it's just so nourishing. When a sister is connected to that higher source, and even I speak and say the same thing to Dr. Ramona Brockett. She has it, She
does.
Yeah. It's a universal thing. You have it, she has it. Many people we know have it. But it's just not as abundant as it should be, because so many of our sisters are chasing something else to be away from who they're supposed to be. They feel as though, well, if I change this about myself to come off more European and this and that, but it's diminishing returns. You'll get a man who wants that. And he's not going to be attracted. A real man is not going to be really attracted to that. A European imposter. Be yourself. And it would drive them crazy. See? And the imposters out there who are prostituting Kemetic culture and way of living and calling it a religion, and the Dannies of the world, or whatever other name she has, she'll hate you. But then again, guess what? You smacked her up verbally like a little kid, and what does she do? She went back and took all these videos down because she knew the authorities stepped in. They knew the sheriff is in town. You don't have to roll around in the mud with them. You walk into the room and you step aside, brat. Your time to play is over. The real queen is here. And they know. And so she ran. If she had any so-called power, she wouldn't budge.
Exactly.
but they know. It's like a game of spiritual chicken.
She wouldn't have taken anything down, but she knew.
Of course
but
she
like
knew.
I said, my people, my lovely supporters, I appreciate them so much for being so open to listening to what I had to say, because they're, I've even gained new supporters that used to follow her, who expressed how sick they were that they actually allowed themselves to be fooled. And she's losing more and more every day. And that's how I know, my job was well done.
That's
I
right.
wasn't going to do it until I saw that video. And it was definitely a decision that was blessed by, some very spiritual people, real spiritual people.
Yeah.
Because I knew that I was up against someone who had perhaps more influence than me, because she's been in this whole, I don't want to call it a game. It's not a game, but she clearly sees it as a game. She's been doing this much longer than me, and I don't really speak on kinetic sciences, or I've talked about spirituality before, but I don't try to school people on Kemet.
Right.
That's not my place. I really don't think that I should be some sort of guru in Kemet. I just speak on life issues. That's all I speak on right now. So for me to go after her, knowing that she's been doing this for so much longer than me, I was a bit hesitant because I didn't know what was going to happen. And it turned out that, I felt like I was doing the right thing, but I was still very hesitant.
Well, you should know by the results and by looking at it in hindsight what you did so wonderfully that it was the right decision. It doesn't mean that you can't speak out just because remember, she's a fraud and an imposter. So, she can be in it and say words and know facts and whatever, but it's not in her soul. She does not have the legal right to, speak on these things. You do.
She doesn't.
This is your lineage. This is your ancestry. That's the way it is. It's almost like a home that was being fought over in court. And the home goes to the children. And other people squatted in the home. And that child might be 8 years old, and that other person who squatted in there might be a grown person, but that child is like, listen, you need to leave my house. You've been here longer. You know how things work. You're here. You appear to be whatever, but no, my legal right, I'm not calling you a child, because what you have in you naturally from a direct connection is far advanced than what she can have on an engineered level. And that's why they come sometime at you to bum rush you with certain facts that you may not be aware of because they spent more time with their nose in the books. But you can get that. That's no problem. But you already have the skill. You already have the connection. She doesn't have that, and they're intimidated by that. That's why they will bark at you for a little while. She barked, and then she turned around and ran and took those things down. That was enough. That was all you had to see. That told you right there.
Exactly. And like I said, everything that she took down is going to go right back up because my people downloaded everything. So it doesn't matter. You can't hide. Nothing that you can do about it. And all of these little threats of defamation of character, we're only using what the fuck you put out there to begin with.
Yeah, and we have
you
it.
Fucked your own character up. We didn't.
Exactly.
All we're doing is
Don't deflect and try to pin the blame on you now.
It's not my fault you decided to fucking change your story. That's just so funny to me. It's my fault that you walk around telling people that you're black when you're clearly not black. There was a lady, this white lady, and she commented and she said something like, she knows who Danny is, like knows her. And she was
Wow.
explaining how Danny's own parents wanted to put her in the loony bin, so she's fucking crazy.
Well, there you go. There you go. There you go.
Yeah,
That's the answer right there.
She said that she'd never understood why Danny was all of a sudden trying to pass as black.
Wow.
So this is coming from a white woman that knows you very well.
So she checks the black box when she does her census.
Right. I guess so.
Wow.
I guess so.
So does she take the black dick as a black woman or as a white woman? But go ahead.
Right. Which one are you? Well, because, it's crazy, Lance. Men are actually calling her, like, Nubian goddess and stuff.
Knowing good and damn well deep down in their soul that she ain't no damn Nubian goddess. They just getting white pussy on bargain basement prices.
Exactly. I realize that that's what they're doing, but I just, it's kind of like, do our men hold anything sacred these days? Why would you give a white woman the title of a Nubian goddess or a Nubian queen?
For real.
You don't hold anything sacred. And I'm not saying this for all men, but those men that do that. Mm-hmm. Shame on you. How dare you? That is just, that is so awful, in my opinion.
You are all we have. No matter what, in the whole wide world, you are all we have, black woman. And for us to go take that status and put that crown on somebody else's head.
And hand it off. You might as well just go throw on a KKK.
You're all we have to comfort us. Yes, we're there to protect you and comfort you also. And of course you fight alongside. Okay, but all I'm just saying, that comfort that comes from you, how could we just sell that? How could we take that to this pawn shop and hock you off like that? You're too sacred. I'd rather be home and hungry and cold, but have you next to me. I don't want heat. Right. I don't want food. I want my woman. I want my sister.
Yep. You need to school him, Lance.
And just no, it's the truth though. It's the truth though. I mean, even that connection that we have righteously as black men and black women, that we allow the carnal to destroy. Just don't try to screw every sister you see. Love on her righteously. Be a real gentleman to her. Have a real conversation with her. Show some real concern without any ulterior motives. And if it does come down to that, be transparent in your movements. I'm not going to say, well, just wait till you get married. And so I'm not. Look, you're adults. You're going to do what you do. Just be upfront. Don't lie when you lean in one way. She might think the same way. Right. But we're a nation, and we need to understand that. And we're the only people out here, maybe not you or I or other conscious people, that are out here marching, begging somebody else for something. And they're turning around and saying, you guys are the ones on welfare, and it's their white farmers on welfare. They're saying this and saying that, but they don't want to look at history. But look, forget them. We're all we have. We are each other's gift. Okay? And we have to show love to each other. We're being shot down. We're being killed. We're being poisoned in our food. Or we're being poisoned in our minds. And we got to clean up ourselves as men, and we got to clean up our wombs. I say, as a man, our wombs, because it's the womb of the black woman that's gonna bring forth the future. Right. And that's not corny talk. It's a very serious thing. And that's why they're trying to disconnect us. Battle of the sexes. And the black woman out here, oh, I don't need no man, and the black man out here, oh, them damn bitches. So we don't produce more. But when we love on each other, somebody else is afraid. Uh-oh. There's unity and love and community. They'll be strong. We gotta destroy those things. Yeah.
But they can't.
Oh, no, I know.
It's been much longer. That was beautiful. We're going to end on that. I like that.
Yes. That was a little flow, and we'll flow more on that another time. But you know, I want you to wrap it up as always. If there's any other thing you want to say, then just wrap it up, and we'll ease on out that way. Beautiful conversation.
Yeah. Well, I have officially set up the YouTube channel's been set up, but I kind of understand it now. So, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's YouTube. Is it /users /
Well, user is what you see. I don't think that user is what they would go to. It's always the / and then the name. Well, usually, you know, we're going to vibe
when
one.
I tried that, though, it didn't work.
It didn't work?
When I clicked on it, I had to type in user.
Well, what you do, give me the address, because I think maybe that might be something that won't click when you're logged in. See, if you log out, you'll probably do it, because usually you just, it's like Twitter, where you just have to have the name. I mean, okay, you're going to tell them it's YouTube, but YouTube and then / the name. I never had a problem, but when I open it up, let me see something here. Let me see. Let me click on my videos here. Okay, I should have just went to the channel. Let me go to the channel. Well, it's saying youtube.com channel, and then it's not even saying the name. I think am I logged out? Well, we'll work on that, but yeah, give it out the way you need to give it out, and we'll work on that. And there's a few little tips and tricks and little things there, jazzing it up, and little things that we're gonna get you going right.
Okay. So YouTube / user / Netrat Talaya, NETERT TALAYA, and then like me on Facebook. Real simple, just Netrat Talaya, NETERT TALAYA, and follow me on Twitter at Netrat Talaya. Like I always say, all love and all light.
Lancescurv.com. Bold, raw, and uncut.
So, my friend, take it for what it's worth. Your heaven and your hell is right here on this earth.